Chloe Peterson says, sources confirmed to me, Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle on August the 7th. So Caitlin Clark basically got hurt again. How did she get hurt again? I don't know. It's definitely looking hella spooky right now, because if Caitlin was hurt and supposed to have been not doing certain things, how do the Fever organization allow her to get hurt again?
Indiana Fever Nation has been rocked to its core. Another injury, another setback, another cruel reminder that even legends aren't untouchable. Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force who turned arenas into cathedrals, is now trapped in a never-ending cycle of injury reports. This isn't just about missing games anymore. This is about losing an entire season. About watching the systematic breakdown of the most electrifying talent the WNBA has ever seen.
What were the odds that the Indiana Fever would miss the playoffs prior to this season taking place? Just to there's so much fishiness going on in this league, and you just sniff around a little bit, you can tell what is the payout for somebody who bet, the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, with a new head coach, with all these new additions, what's the payout if they just, surprise, miss the playoffs? Indiana Fever reporters, beat writers, pawns, whatever you want to call them, they are suddenly reporting an August 7th ankle injury.
The numbers tell a brutal story. Clark has already missed 22 games this season. 22. More than some players miss in their entire careers. Clip 3. This is the same player who never missed a game in 4 years at Iowa, who played every contest in her rookie WNBA season. Now, she's piling up injuries like trading cards. A left quad strain, a left groin injury, a right groin injury, and now a bone bruise in her left ankle. Picked up while rehabbing from the others. It feels like watching a masterpiece get vandalized in real time.
None of this stuff, like, why tell us now? None of this stuff is just, it's not making sense, man. I mean, this organization, man, it's being run like a mom and pop shop, bro. Like, God, like, what is going on? What is going on, man? I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. It's just flat out, it's absurd. I don't even, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's liars. We can't get the truth about anything. There's a video of Caitlin Clark trying to jog. She looks awful just trying to trot. I mean, I don't know what's going on. This is terrible. I told y'all, it's a wrap. I don't want to say it's a wrap. I told y'all she's done for the season. It's a wrap.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. Let's talk about what we're really witnessing. Because this isn't just bad luck, it's systemic. It's calculated. The WNBA is watching its brightest star get carved apart piece by piece, while doing absolutely nothing. Clark's 2025 season started with promise. Indiana built a championship roster around her. Fan circle dates on their calendars, season tickets sold out, dreams filled the air. Then reality crashed the party.
Earlier this summer, we knew about the groin injury that's kept her sidelined damn near the entire season. Now we are being told that Caitlin Clark suffered a bone bruise in her ankle during a workout 2 weeks ago. This poor girl is falling apart in her early 20s. Part of me understands the push to get Caitlin Clark back on the court. The Indiana Felines are barely hanging on to their playoff spot.
The first domino was that quad strain, keeping her out for 5 games. But Clark came back in vintage form, dropping 32 points on the defending champion New York Liberty. For a moment, it looked like the gods of basketball were smiling. But that smile didn't last. A left groin injury cost her 4 more games, and when she returned, she wasn't the same, averaging just 12.5 points on 31% shooting across 4 games. The spark was dim, the magic muted.
Because Caitlin Clark is the most covered player the WNBA has ever seen. So if she had an injury or tweak something or hurt something almost 2 weeks ago, You probably think we would have heard about it by now, right? Right. Scott Agnes reports fever. All-star guard Caitlin Clark tweaked her left ankle during a workout in Phoenix, league sources told Fieldhouse Files. Chloe Peterson confirms this. Sources confirm to me that Caitlin Clark suffered a very mild bone bruise in her left ankle. A tweak, bone bruise.
Then came the knockout blow, a right groin injury on July 15th against Connecticut, sidelining her for 13 straight games and counting. And as if that weren't enough, during rehab she tweaked her ankle on August 7th. They called it a very mild bone bruise. They said it wouldn't change her timeline. But here's the truth about injuries. They pile up, they stack, they turn into a fragile house of cards, and this one is collapsing.
Caitlin Clark injury situation is officially a mess because not only is there not more clarity, there's more confusion about what her timeline could be. And that's coming on the heels of it seeming to be pretty clear when Clark would return to the court, or about when she would return to the court. It was said on the ESPN broadcast on August 12th that Stephanie White hoped Clark would be back in practice this week. Open portion of practice, Clark is not seen. And Stephanie White afterwards said it's status quo until Clark is back at practice. Well, what changed? Right? I know there's never been a direct timeline, but all the signs seem to point in the direction of Clark returning soon.
And here's where the outrage begins. None of this happened in a vacuum. This wasn't some random twist of fate. It was a direct result of a league that turned Clark into a human punching bag. Remember the cheap shots? The eye pokes? The blindsides that knocked her to the floor while officials looked the other way? Marina Mabry shoving her to ground. Upgraded to a flagrant after the game. J.C. Sheldon going for her eyes. Player after player testing how much abuse Clark could take while referees shrugged.
And we have no idea when Caitlin Clark is coming back or if she is coming back at all. Every time that they get asked, they just say TBD. We have no idea what's going on, which is, in my opinion, quite suspicious. You kind of know what is going to happen with an injury. The doctors can give you an estimate. The player can tell you, you know, I'm not really feeling that great. I don't expect to be coming back, but she has been practicing with the team. Maybe she's going to come back for the playoffs and help them get that championship, or at least try to get the championship.
Her former Iowa coach, Lisa Blutter, saw it coming. She begged for rule changes, for fines that mattered, for automatic ejections. But the WNBA was too busy counting the cash Clark brought in. They let the targeting escalate. They let the hits pile up. And now they're paying the price for their negligence. The woman who never missed a game in her entire career until this year has now missed 60% of the season. Fans who once paid $670 just to breathe the same air as her are left scrolling Instagram for vague updates. Coach Stephanie White keeps repeating the same line. Until she can get into practice, it's status quo. Translation: nobody knows if she's coming back.
Yeah, it's crazy. They can't see all of these fouls and flagrants that's happening, especially when it comes to our precious CC, Caitlin Clark, at the end of the day, but they have time to pay attention to your podcast and finding you. You know what I'm saying? Because of you calling them out on they miss. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about them jive turkeys like they would say in the 70s. At the end of the day, keep it to yourself. Even if you did know when Caitlin Clark, a.k.a. my precious and our precious CC, was coming back, which we know she's not coming back. She's out for the rest of the season. She needs to stay out for the rest of the season. Because of this organization and the WNBA is a whole catastrophe.
To their credit, the Fever have fought hard without her, going 10-9 in games she's missed. But let's be real. This team wasn't built to survive. It was built to win a championship. Instead, they sit at 19-16, clinging to 6th place. Meanwhile, injuries are spreading to the roster like wildfire. Sydney Colson with a torn ACL, Ari McDonald with a broken foot, Sophie Cunningham with a torn ligament. Fans are frustrated, furious, and demanding answers. Some want Clark shut down for the season. Others want investigations into officiating and league safety protocols. But one truth remains. When your franchise player goes from invincible to broken in one season, something is deeply wrong.
I can't stand Stephanie White because she keeps covering up and doing lies. And I find her very deceiving, and she lacks integrity. She don't tell the truth. Remember, she covered for Dewana Bonner, saying she had personal reasons and didn't tell the truth about it. And then she lied about Caitlin Clark's injury, where it was a lot severe than it was, but she said day to day, kept stringing a carrot. And then once again, she lied again and didn't say a word about her being hurt, getting her ankle hurt. What's up with this team being like very deceiving and not telling the truth and not like being transparent with the fans? Like, people love Kaylee Clark. They want to know what's going on. They're worried about her groin injury. Is she getting better? Is she not? We're all thinking, oh, she might be coming back soon.
And now, the WNBA finds itself in a crisis. Its biggest star, their ticket to mainstream relevance, is sidelined. The same player who packed arenas, boosted TV ratings, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball is now just absent. Meanwhile, the league is drowning in other controversies, security issues, PR nightmares, but none compare to the Clark situation. This isn't just about one player. This is about the league's complete failure to protect its most valuable asset.
She is a injured, but she suffered 3 lower leg injuries, and now we're talking about Caitlin Clark suffering a minor leg injury as well in practice, which has affected her shot while she was trying to play through her injuries, affected her shooting for her long distance, her jumping, her elevation. We all know what happens when you aren't right as a guard and you have to get lift and you have to score, you have to push off on your legs and your foot. You do not want to risk Caitlin Clark coming back and her suffering serious injury that may prolong her being out for even longer. That's not what you want to do. We've seen it happen to Kevin Durant. When he came back, he had a calf strain. We've seen it happen to...
Here we are in late August, 9 games left, and the harsh reality, Caitlin Clark might not play another minute this season. Her groin still isn't healed. Her ankle is bruised, and the clock is running out. Analyst Rachel said what fans feared most. I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back. Those words hit like a sledgehammer. Clark, the face of the WNBA's new era, the player meant to lead Indiana to glory, is fighting just to make it back onto a practice court.
Lines in the WNBA dump have been non-existent since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have been injured. Now, with Sophie Cunningham out for the season, there are literally no stars in the WNBA. It would not surprise me if the Indiana Felines were being pressured by either the WNBA Players Union or the league itself. Hell, maybe both. It wouldn't surprise me if the Felines were being pressured to get the Roo from Waterloo back on the court. But like I've been telling you guys for weeks, Caitlin Clark is not coming back this season.
Here's the part no one wants to say out loud. This was preventable. Every single one of these injuries could have been avoided if the league had done its job, if officials had called fouls, if the WNBA had punished dirty play, if players' safety had been prioritized over physical intimidation. Instead, Clark was turned into a target for frustrated veterans. She was allowed to take hit after hit while the league cashed in. And now, her career trajectory, once destined for superstardom, has been derailed by incompetence.
This is the last thing that I'll say about that podcast interview. As Sophie did mention, she talked about Caitlin Clark briefly and her recovery, and she basically just said, like, it is a day-to-day thing. Caitlin doesn't even know when she will be back. So she didn't really give any more information than that, but I think a lot of fans are speculating, will Caitlin Clark be back? Because Sophie is now out for the season, will the Indiana Fever risk it by bringing Caitlin Clark back? If Sophie is out, do the Fever even have a chance in the playoffs? Why would you bring Caitlin Clark back? Should you bring Caitlin Clark back? Will she be practicing this week? They have a tough stretch of games. Are they going to bring her back against a team like the Minnesota Lynx? We just don't know. And I, like I've said in the past few videos, I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back.
The fans who once filled arenas just to watch her warm up now hold their breath every time her name appears in an update. The media who once replayed her highlights now write injury reports. The WNBA that she single-handedly dragged into relevance is scrambling to find answers without her. Caitlin Clark didn't just suffer an injury. She became the victim of systemic failure. The league forgot the most basic rule of business: protect your investment. And now, as the 2025 season slips away, one question lingers. Will we ever see the same explosive, game-changing Clark again?
Is that something you and the medical staff just kind of reiterate with her? Just, hey, it's okay, take your time, there's a big picture we got to think about here?
Yeah, and I think just the experience throughout the year, trying to come back and come back quickly, has also taught her, that she needs to make sure that she's 100%. And yes, every competitor wants to play. But at the same time, doing it the right way and making sure, after we've had a couple of setbacks, that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness is the most important thing.
Indiana Fever Nation has been rocked to its core. Another injury, another setback, another cruel reminder that even legends aren't untouchable. Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force who turned arenas into cathedrals, is now trapped in a never-ending cycle of injury reports. This isn't just about missing games anymore. This is about losing an entire season. About watching the systematic breakdown of the most electrifying talent the WNBA